Okay, just climbed out of the rabbit hole of Balkan history. But let's jump into the video. What's son of the masking? Welcome back to another episode of Rise of Blank. Today, we're diving into a story that's as complex as it is fascinating. The rise and fall of Yugoslavia. From its inception in the aftermath of World War I to its eventual disintegration in the 1990s, Yugoslavia's history is a rollercoaster of unity, conflict, and cultural diversity. So let's get right into it. The story of Yugoslavia begins in the aftermath of World War I. The Austro-Hungarian Empire had just collapsed, and the nations within its borders were looking to forge new identities and alliances. On December 1st, 1918, the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes was proclaimed, uniting these South Slavic peoples under one state. This new kingdom was often referred to as the First Yugoslavia. The driving force behind this union was the idea of Yugoslavism, a movement advocating for the cultural and political unity of all Southern Slavs. The name Yugoslavia itself means Land of the South Slavs. However, the reality of uniting diverse ethnic groups with distinct identities and histories proved to be challenging. The new kingdom faced significant internal tensions and disputes over political power, cultural identity, and regional autonomy. King Alexander I, who took the throne in 1921, attempted to create a centralized, unified state by dissolving regional assemblies and banning political parties based on ethnic lines. In 1929, he renamed the country the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. Despite his efforts, ethnic tensions prevailed, and Alexander's authoritarian measures only exacerbated the underlying divisions. After the assassination of King Alexander I of Yugoslavia in 1934, his 11-year-old son Peter II was next in line for the throne. However, due to his young age, a regency council was established to rule in his stead. The regent who primarily acted as the head of state was Prince Paul of Yugoslavia, King Alexander's cousin, who served as the chief regent until Peter II came of age and fully assumed royal duties in 1941. World War II brought a significant amount of changes in Yugoslavia. In April 1941, the Axis powers invaded and occupied the country, dividing it among Germany, Italy, Hungary, and Bulgaria. The occupation led to widespread suffering and resistance, with various partisan groups fighting against the occupiers. The most effective resistance movement was led by Josip Broz Tito, a communist revolutionary. Tito's partisans, as they were known, managed to unite various ethnic groups in their struggle against the Axis forces. Tito's leadership against the partisans' success in guerrilla warfare earned them widespread support. By 1945, Tito and his forces had liberated Yugoslavia and established a new communist government. The Federal People's Republic of Yugoslavia was proclaimed, or the FPROY as the cool kids call it, with Tito as its leader. Unlike many Eastern European countries, Yugoslavia pursued an independent path, often in defiance of the Soviet Union. After World War II, Yugoslavia was in ruins, ravaged by the conflict and internal strife between various ethnic groups and political factions. Tito, the leader of the partisans who played a crucial role in liberating the country from Axis occupation, emerged as the dominant figure. In 1945, the Federal People's Republic of Yugoslavia, or as you know, we call it the FPROY, was established, and Tito became the Prime Minister and later the President, solidifying his control over the new socialist state. Tito's vision for Yugoslavia was to create a federation that balanced the interests of its diverse ethnic groups. The country was divided into 6 socialist republics: Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia, along with 2 autonomous provinces within Serbia, Vojvodina, and Kosovo. This federal structure aimed to prevent any single ethnic group from dominating the others, promoting a sense of unity among South Slavs. One of the most distinctive aspects of Tito's Yugoslavia was its economic system, known as workers' self-management. Introduced in the early 1950s, this system allowed workers in factories and enterprises to manage their own workplaces through elected councils. The goal was to combine socialist principles with greater economic efficiency and worker participation, distinguishing Yugoslavia from the centralized command economies of the Soviet bloc. This model was initially successful, leading to rapid industrialization and economic growth. Yugoslavia became one of the most prosperous socialist states, with a relatively high standard of living compared to its Eastern European counterparts. Tito's foreign policy was characterized by his commitment to non-alignment. Unlike other Eastern European countries, Yugoslavia refused to align itself strictly with the Soviet Union or the Western Bloc during the Cold War. Tito was a co-founder of the non-aligned movement in 1961, along with such leaders as India's Jawaharlal Nehru, Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser, and Indonesia's Sukarno. This movement was sought to provide a third path for countries that wished to avoid becoming pawns of the superpower rivalry. Tito's independent stance often brought him into conflict with the Soviet Union, particularly under Joseph Stalin. In 1948, Yugoslavia was expelled from the Cominform, the international communist organization led by the Soviets, due to Tito's refusal to follow Moscow's directives. This split allowed Yugoslavia to chart its own course and maintain a degree of openness and economic ties with the West. Tito's Yugoslavia was also marked by significant social and cultural policies. The government promoted education, healthcare, and social welfare programs, contributing to improvements in literacy, life expectancy, and overall quality of life. Tito's regime encouraged Yugoslav identity, emphasizing brotherhood and unity among the diverse ethnic groups to foster a national cohesion. Culturally, Yugoslavia experienced a vibrant period during Tito's rule. The state supported the arts, literature, and cinema, leading to a flourishing of Yugoslav culture. Filmmakers like Emir Kusturica gained international recognition, and the Yugoslav rock scene music thrived, producing bands that remain influential to this day. Despite these achievements, Tito's Yugoslavia faced many significant challenges. Ethnic tensions persisted beneath the surface, occasionally erupting into conflicts. The government maintained a strict one-party system, with the League of Communists of Yugoslavia holding a monopoly on political power. While Tito allowed some degree of freedom compared to other socialist states, his regime also employed repressive measures to maintain control, including censorship, surveillance, and imprisonment of political dissidents. By the late 1970s, Yugoslavia's economic model began to show signs of strains, and external debt increased and economic growth slowed, leading to the rising unemployment and inflation. Tito's death in 1980 marked the beginning of the end for Yugoslavia. Without his unifying presence, the country struggled to manage its internal divisions and economic problems. Tito's legacy is complex. On one hand, he is remembered for his efforts to maintain a unified, independent Yugoslavia and his first contributions to the non-aligned movement. On the other hand, his authoritarian methods and eventual disintegration of Yugoslavia in the 1990s cast a shadow over his achievements. The 80s were a turbulent decade for Yugoslavia. Economic troubles, rising national sentiments, and political instability began to unravel the fabric for the Federation. The death of Tito removed a key stabilizing force, and without his leadership, the Republic started to assert their independence more aggressively. Slobodan Milosevic, who rose to power in Serbia in the late 1980s, played a significant role in the events leading up to the breakup of Yugoslavia. His national rhetoric and policies alienated other republics, particularly those of Croatia and Slovenia. In 1991, Slovenia and Croatia declared their independence, triggering a series of conflicts that would engulf the region for the next decade. The wars that followed were both brutal and complex, and ethnic violence, atrocities, and humanitarian crises were prevalent. Bosnia and Herzegovina declared independence in 1992, leading to a particularly devastating conflict. The international community eventually intervened, leading to the Dayton Agreement in 1995, which brought an end to the Bosnian War. However, the violence and trauma of the conflicts left deep scars in the region. The breakup of Yugoslavia resulted in the formation of 7 independent countries: Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, Slovenia, and I guess Kosovo, at least sort of. Despite its turbulent history, Yugoslavia left a lasting legacy in the Balkans. The idea of Yugoslavism, which ultimately proved unsuccessful in creating a lasting state, influenced cultural and political developments in the region. The shared history, language, and cultural ties among the South Slavs continued to shape their interactions and relationships. Yugoslavia's experiment with workers' self-management remains a unique chapter in the history of socialism, demonstrating an alternative approach to communist governance. Additionally, the non-aligned movement, co-founded by Tito, remains an important organization for a country seeking independence from superpower influence. Yugoslavia's history has also had a significant impact on popular culture. Films, literature, and music from the region often reflect the complexities and tragedies of the Yugoslav experience. Directors like Emir Kusturica have gained international acclaim for their films depicting life in Yugoslavia and the aftermath of its breakup. Music has also played a crucial role in expressing the Yugoslav identity. The Yugoslav rock scene of the 1980s produced bands that are still popular today, and traditional folk music continues to be a vital part of the cultural heritage for the region. The story of Yugoslavia serves as a reminder of the challenges and possibilities of creating a multi-ethnic state. It highlights the difficulties of balancing national identities with a collective sense of unity and the impact of political leadership on the stability and cohesion of a nation. So, there you have it, the rise and fall of Yugoslavia, a nation that tried to unite diverse peoples under a common identity, only to be torn apart by the very forces it sought to reconcile. From its inception after World War I to its disintegration in the 1990s, Yugoslavia's history is a complex tapestry of unity, conflict, and cultural richness. Thanks for watching till the end.